Okay, so I'm at that. Thank you very much, and good morning to or good evening to all of you. Now, let me talk about very important topic in graph theory. Okay, graph theory, that is what I am interested in today. Here we are going to study about maximum independent edges and the minimum edge covering. Minimum edge covering and the maximum independent edges, or we say it is an matching. Other terminology for this, we call it as matching. Okay, look at this particular picture. There are vertices, cat v1, v2, v3, v4, v5 and v6 are vertices. Okay, and these vertices are joined by the edges. Okay, so definitely there is no doubt this is a graph. Okay, so I have not written that it is a graph. It is a graph given to us. So let me take my topic now. Yes, this is a graph given to us because there is no doubt it is a consists of set of vertices and set of edges. Now look at this. First we talk about the independent edges. So what are the independent edges? The edges which are independent of one another is called an independent edges. That means the edges which are not adjacent to one another is called the independent edges. An edge should not be adjacent to other edge. Okay, such a set of edges are called independent edge set of the given graph vertices set. Okay, now look at this. v1 and v2, v2, v3 are adjacent to one another. Similarly, v1 and v2, v2 and v6 are adjacent to one another. Similarly, v6 and v3, v3 and v4 are adjacent to one another. It should not be the adjacent. Okay, such a type of vertices are called independent edges. Take for example in the picture, you can see that v1 v5, v1 v5 and v2 v3, v2 v3. Okay, so they are independent of one another. Similarly, you can take v1 v2 and v6 v4. They are not adjacent edges, they are independent of one another. Similarly, v5, v4 and v2 and v6, they are independent of one another. So like that you can have a lot of independent subsets, independent edges set which are subsets of the vertices set of G. Okay, right. Now our question is the maximum number of independent sets, the maximum number of independent edges. That's what we are interested here. Okay, so here what is the maximum number of independent edges are? The first one is v1 v5, second one is v2 v3 and third one is v4 v6. They are independent of one another. Why? Because they are not adjacent to one another. The edges are not adjacent to one another. Okay, therefore we say that it is the matching or independent edge set. We can say other name for this is matching. Now, so this is one matching is v1 v5, v2 v3. Another match is v1 v2 and v6 v4. Okay, but look at this particular matching, and this, so out of this particular graph, the maximum number of independent edges possible are v1 v5, that edge, v2 v3, that edge, v4 v6, that edge. So more than that edges, we cannot have one more edge, so that also independent to this, independent to this and independent to this. Okay, is it possible here? Can we find out another edges which are independent of this and this here, is it possible? It is impossible. And other thing is that no other edges can be added to this, so that the four edges are independent of one another. Therefore, this is, we call it as maximum matching. Maximum matching. We can find that two edges are independent of one another, but more than three independent edges we cannot find out, and those are called maximum matching. Maximum matching, we say. Okay, the number of elements in the maximum matching, we call it as edge matching number. Edge matching number. The maximum number of elements in any maximum matching is called edge matching number, and the symbol is alpha dash. Alpha dash of G here is equal to 3, because number of elements here are 3. Therefore, the edge matching number alpha dash of G is equal to 3. Now coming to the covering. What is a covering means here? Okay. Now look at here. Minimum. This is one covering. Then attack V2, V3, V1, V5, and V4, V6. V2, V3, V1, V5, V4, V6. So these are the edges. They are not independent of one another, but they cover all the vertices here. This particular edges covers all the vertices. So look at here. V1 is here, V2 is here, V3 is here, V4 is here, V5 is here, and V6 also here. Okay. So these edges, these three edges covers all the vertices in this particular graph. Okay. So this particular set of edges, we call it as covering. Okay. Covering means a set of edges which covers all the vertices. Which covers all the vertices. That means each edge has at least one incidence of vertex in that particular graph. Okay, that we call it as covering. Now, minimum covering we talked about. We can have lot of maximum cover here. Okay, we can have lot of maximum independent set which covers all the vertices here, but only a few edges are there which can cover all the vertices. Only few edges which covers all the vertices here in this particular graph. Such a set of edge set, we call it as minimum covering. Okay, so the number of elements in the minimum covering, we call it as edge covering number, and is denoted as beta dash G. Beta dash G is called the edge covering number. That is number of elements in the minimum covering. Number of elements in the minimum covering is called edge covering number, and the symbol for that is beta dash. Therefore, beta dash of the given graph is equal to 3. Beta dash of the given graph is equal to 3. Now, what we understand here, okay, what we discover here is that the edge matching number plus the edge covering number is equal to number of the vertex in the given graph. That's what we discover here. That is, the edge matching number is 3 here, plus the edge covering number is 3 here. If you find the total of them, we see that it is exactly equal to the number of the vertices here. See here, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and V6. That's what we discovered here. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of this particular teaching time. Next, we will have another topic. So thank you very much.